From Shaquille O'Neal cheating on his wife to two teammates at the Phoenix Suns sleeping with Steve Nash's wife, these are NBA players who were involved in cheating scandals that could have been Hollywood movie plots. We will definitely talk about Shaquille O'Neal first. Everyone knows the big guy who dominated the NBA for years, made a name for himself as a rapper, movie star, TV analyst, and media personality. However, what you might not know is that Shaq was a serial cheater. One controversial incident that fans will never forget is his cheating scandal with Laura Govan back in 2010. Shaq's wife, Shawnee, accused him of cheating on her with Laura, who happened to be engaged to Gilbert Arenas and was the mother of his children. Talk about drama on and off the court. Leaked emails between Shaq and Laura hit the internet, containing explicit information about their secret engagements. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that's usually kept behind closed doors. As you can imagine, the scandal shook the NBA world. After the emails were released, Shawnee had had enough and filed for divorce, and rightly so. Gilbert, who was engaged to Laura, initially found it hard to believe that she had slept with Shaq. But as time went on, he changed his mind and accepted the hard truth. In an episode of his podcast, Gil's Arena, Gilbert talks about how the cheating scandal affected him and his performance on the court. According to Gilbert, during a game against the Indiana Pacers, he was at the free throw line and ready to shoot when he started hearing those two kids chanting Shaq over and over again. The kids were making rude gestures to mess with Gilbert's focus. All these interruptions threw Gilbert off his game, and he ended up missing both free throws. Making free throws is hard enough as it is, but with the scandal going on, it's no wonder he struggled to concentrate. In a hilarious turn of events, Laura later came out and denied the whole cheating scandal with Shaq, saying, "Hell no. Have you seen his feet? How are you going to sleep with somebody who has feet like that?" Honestly, I don't want to know what Shaq's feet look like, but the Lakers legend and his unique-looking feet have a reputation for being a womanizer. In his book, Shaq Uncut, he tries to explain why he cheated, claiming that so many women were practically throwing themselves at him, so he couldn't resist the temptation, even while he was married. But if you thought this incident was crazy, let me tell you about the awkward scandal involving Indiana Pacers Paul George and Roy Hibbert and their wives. Yes, you heard that right. And trust me, the whole situation is just as awkward as it sounds. Until 2010, the Indiana Pacers had a pretty solid team, and leading the way was none other than the dynamic duo of George and Hibbert. These guys were killing it on the court, but things took a weird turn during the 2014 playoffs. The Pacers became noticeably bad, and of course, the rumor mill got to work in no time. Wild stories went swirling around, and out of all the wild speculations, a teammate of theirs, Lance Stevenson, made a comment that caught everyone's attention. Apparently, there were some not-so-innocent conversations going on between Paul and Hibbert's wives on social media. Instagram was the battleground for this scandal, and a gossip column called Baller Alert somehow got its hands on an anonymous email and spilled the beans. According to this email, Roy Hibbert found out about the whole thing because his wife confessed to feeling guilty. It turns out George and Hibbert's wife had been chatting it up on Instagram for a while, and that might sound perfectly normal, but the two ended up having an affair. Since George and Hibbert were friends, the situation quickly became awkward. No wonder things went downhill for Hibbert on the court after that. It seems like he just walked away from it all, and his performance suffered as a result. So, we've talked about NBA players sleeping with each other's wives, but have you ever considered the possibility of them going after the coach's wife? Well, it turns out that's not off limits either. Take Andrew Bynum of the Cleveland Cavaliers, for example. He was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team, but then given paid leave because, as it turns out, he had a relationship going on with the wife of Jamal Mosley, one of the coaches. Bynum had only played in 24 games that season before this bombshell dropped. But after this scandal broke, he was out of the league for years, and there are no signs of him coming back anytime soon. Now, I can't say for sure that this was the only reason for his downfall, but it definitely didn't help his reputation. It just goes to show that when it comes to NBA drama, anything is possible. Now, one that made no sense to me was Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs cheating on the stunning Eva Longoria with a teammate's wife. When you're married to someone as gorgeous as Eva Longoria, Your eyes will never wander, right? Well, think again, because Parker got himself involved in a sexting relationship with none other than his teammate Brent Barry's wife. The crazy part is that the two couples were close friends, usually hanging out together, which makes this whole situation even more confusing. Longoria discovered tons of text messages between Parker and Aaron Barry, and let's just say she wasn't too happy about it. She kicked Tony to the curb, dumped him, and got rid of the tattoo of their wedding date that she had on her wrist. Not only that, but Brent Barry also decided to call it quits and filed for divorce. Parker later spoke about the whole messy situation in an interview with Hello Magazine. He admitted that leaving a relationship is never easy, especially when it's under the microscope of the public eye. He acknowledged that in a world where everything is online and on social media, Hollywood takes things to a whole new level. Well, Tony, maybe next time, think twice before you go texting someone else's wife, or even ex-wife, like in the case of this next scandal. I'm talking about the drama between former teammates from the Los Angeles Lakers, Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher, who got caught up in a scandal that made for the movies. Fisher retired from playing basketball, becoming the head coach of the New York Knicks, while Barnes switched positions to become a forward on the Memphis Grizzlies. Barnes had just gone through a divorce from Gloria Govan, who you might recognize from the TV show Basketball Wives of LA, when he found out she was seeing Fisher. Some say that Bro Code says not to date each other's exes, and Barnes was rightly upset. He got inside his car and drove 100 miles from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles to confront Fisher in the backyard of Govan's home. Things got ugly fast. One source told the New York Post that Barnes went crazy and beat the daylights out of Fisher. Clearly, Barnes took this whole situation very personally. The guy drove all the way to Los Angeles just to settle the score. That's some serious dedication, or maybe some serious anger issues. But let's get ready for some serious drama. I've got a scandal for you involving not one but two players from the same team. Leandro Barbosa, who played with the legendary Steve Nash as a teammate at the Phoenix Suns, had a little something going on with none other than Nash's wife, Alejandra Amarilla. Talk about crossing some serious boundaries. It gets crazier because just a day after Alejandra gave birth, Nash filed for divorce. The reason behind it was that Nash believed the baby was not his, but Barbosa's. He had good reason too. When the baby finally came, Nash noticed it was of a different race. And trust me, that's not the worst part. After getting a DNA test done on the baby, Steve found out that even Barbosa wasn't the father. It turns out Jason Richardson, another one of his teammates, was the father. Crazy. I mean, we all know cheating scandals happen, but this one takes the trophy. It's like something you would see on Jerry Springer. We all know NBA players are people like us, just so things like this are bound to happen. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe.